Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the NBA slate on DraftKings for Friday, November the 23rd. We're back after a Thursday off of NBA. There was no NBA on Thanksgiving, didn't make a video. Hopefully you guys had a good Thanksgiving. Hopefully you made some money on the NFL slate. I, on one hand, did not. Was not a great Thanksgiving Day slate, but it was a great day of just hanging out with the friends, family, and eating some good food. Hopefully we can make some money on Friday's slate, make back some of that money. For me at least, make back some of the money I lost on Thanksgiving. We'll take a look at this 12-game slate, talk about each position and some of the favorite plays I see at each position, early looks at this slate. Before we do get started, though, I would appreciate it if you would drop a like on the video. It really means a lot, and if you are new to the channel, then make sure you click that subscribe button down below, so that way you won't miss out on any of my new videos. So yeah, let's go ahead and look at point guard today. So we have Westbrook and Harden at the top of this position. And I don't have a ton of interest in really either guy. So looking at the other studs on this slate, I think I would rather pay up for Anthony Davis, and I would rather pay up for Giannis against Phoenix. So Westbrook and Harden probably don't make the cut for me. I think I'd rather play Joel Embiid over those two guys. Even though Harden is playing this Detroit team that he just crushed last game, Houston and Detroit just played like yesterday or Wednesday, I believe. Harden went off for 72 DraftKings points against them. Still not going to have a ton of interest in Harden today. Really don't like Westbrook either at 10-9, just other studs I'd rather pay for. I think my favorite point guard play when you factor in price, if I was to pay up, would probably be Damian Lillard at 9K. Against the Warriors, just feels like one of those games Damian Lillard gets up for, tries to play well. Even though the Warriors are not at full strength right now and they're probably not going to win this game, Damian Lillard I still feel like will play really well and just get up and try and play well for this game. At 9K, he does feel a little bit too cheap. I think he'd be my favorite guy to pay up for. But really, I like the mid-range here. So Zach LaVine, when you look at his price tag, he's a guy that really sticks out to me. $7,600 for Zach LaVine just honestly feels a little bit too cheap. This guy's a high-usage player, just takes a ton of shots, pretty much manhandles this Bulls offense. He's taking 20 shots a game, playing massive minutes in competitive games. 37 minutes in his first game back from injury against the Suns last game. 20 shots, 40 DraftKings points, 29, 1, and 6 with a steal. I expect massive usage again for Zach LaVine against the Heat. Not like a great matchup or anything, but definitely like Zach LaVine here when you look at his price tag. He just feels underpriced. Anytime this guy's under 8K with no Chris Dunn, he's just going to do so much for this offense. If this game stays competitive, which I think it can, I'd expect massive minutes here for Zach LaVine. And honestly, I think he gives us probably a 30, 35 point floor. And obviously, he has that 50, 55 point upside that we want. So, great cash play, in my opinion. Great tournament play as well. Just all around good option at point guard or shooting guard. I really like Zach LaVine here. And then looking for other plays we could possibly consider. Just going to try and touch on guys that really stick out to me. Since it is a 12-game slate, I don't want to talk about everybody because then the video will be really long. So I'll try and touch on maybe some core plays for me. Lonzo Ball, I want to have interest in. I know he had a decent game against Cleveland last game, played 36 minutes, 33 DraftKings points. Without Rondo, I expect the minutes to be consistent for Lonzo, or I would expect the minutes to be consistent for Lonzo, but they really haven't. Last 3 games with no Rondo, Lonzo's played 28, 22, and 36 minutes. So if he's playing well, he'll probably get the minutes. If he's not playing well, we're not going to get a really good game from Lonzo, but at 5,100, not a great matchup against the Jazz, but I could see definitely going to Lonzo today if you're trying to go for a cheap point guard. And then value plays. I was on Justice Winslow last game. I believe it was, I can't remember who he was up against, but Dragic was out. It was against Brooklyn. Dragic was out. We got the news Winslow was not going to start. He was going to come off the bench. That made me lose a lot of interest in him. And he really didn't have that great of a game, just 17 minutes and 14 DraftKings points. I imagine since Winslow came off the bench that last game, he's probably going to come off the bench again, and Derek Jones is going to start ahead of him. So probably don't have much interest in Justice Winslow, but if for some reason he's back in the starting lineup with Dragic out, then Justice Winslow really becomes a good value at 4,500. And then the last guy, Trey Burke, just a dude that's been playing really well lately. Been getting big minutes off the bench for the Knicks. Just last 4 games, I should say. 26, 29, 26, and 32 minutes. 30, 40, 27, and 59 DraftKings points. The dude's chucking when he comes off the bench. 13 field goal attempts, 20, 15, 20. He's getting some assists as well, getting some rebounds. I feel like Trey Burke's probably going to be popular today, which does scare me anytime Trey Burke just in general is popular. But the way he's been playing lately, with how much he's shooting when he comes off the bench, with how well he's facilitating, I do like him as a value play. He's probably the best value play at point guard or shooting guard, and just probably one of the top value plays overall on the slate. So definitely like Trey Burke here at this position. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to shooting guard now and look at this position. So plays that I haven't really talked about that I see myself going to. At the top, really isn't a ton that I love today. Drew Holiday is probably my favorite option, 8,300 against the Knicks, but I don't think Drew Holiday is going to be like a core play for me, a guy that I have massive exposure to. Maybe Josh Richardson without Dragic. He handles the ball a ton. He's 7,300 against the Bulls. I could see going to Josh Richardson, but I would probably play Zach LaVine over Richardson. You can play Zach LaVine at shooting guard, and he's only 300 more. So he's really the guy I like at this position if I'm paying up. But when it comes to value, if Oladipo's out again, I think we can go back to Tyreke Evans. I've played him the last 2 games without Oladipo. Really hasn't worked out well. Just 27 and 22 minutes, 24 and 22 DraftKings points. But the big game's going to come for Tyreke Evans. Just without Oladipo, he gets massive usage. He's going to take some shot attempts. The rebounds, he should get some rebounds, should get some assists as well. Even though he hasn't played well lately, one of those games did blow out against the Jazz. He only saw 27 minutes that game. And then against Charlotte in the last game, I believe he did not play the fourth quarter because that game was a blowout as well. So if this game can stay close, we probably should get 30 minutes from Tyreke Evans. And I do like him at 5,400 if Oladipo does not play today. And then cheap shooting guard value, probably the guys I've talked about that I like here. You can play Trey Burke here. If Winslow somehow starts, I think he's shooting guard eligible. Wait, no, he's not. So forget Winslow, but Trey Burke you can play here. He's a really good value play today, in my opinion. But yeah, let's move on to small forward now. We do have Giannis, AD, or not Giannis, not AD, but Giannis, LeBron, KD at the top of this position. And I mentioned Giannis. I do like him here at 11-4 against the Suns, but probably Anthony Davis I would much rather have over Giannis today. It's close, but Giannis for me, definitely my favorite stud behind AD. AD's going to be my top priority. We'll still have plenty of exposure to Giannis. It's against the Suns. Nobody on the Suns should be able to stop him. I guess Trevor Ariza could, but nobody's really going to stop Giannis. Ariza could give him a little bit of trouble, but I still expect Giannis to put up a big game against the Suns. Just would rather have Anthony Davis. LeBron against the Jazz, don't have a ton of interest in. KD at 10-4 against Portland, kind of intriguing, because KD feels a little underpriced without Curry, without Draymond, but he really hasn't been playing that well lately. The Warriors just haven't looked good at all. KD's probably going to be a guy that I avoid today. Just try and find the salary to get up to Giannis or Anthony Davis. So let's look at other small forward plays. Really guys that stands out to me, there aren't a ton, like core plays or anything. You can play Tyreke Evans here, who I've talked about. Definitely like him as a value play. But really not a lot of like core guys I see. Winslow is small forward eligible if he somehow starts, 4,500. But that's honestly probably it for small forward. Dwight Howard is questionable. If Dwight Howard misses again, then Jeff Green should definitely be a good value play. He's only 4,300. He played 26 minutes last game without Dwight Howard. Put up 38 DraftKings points, had 27 and 3 off the bench for the Wizards. I expect him to get mid-20s, 28 minutes. I would say 26 to 28 minutes off the bench if Dwight Howard's out. So definitely a value play you could look to. But let's go ahead and move on to power forward now. There's a lot of value at this position that I like, but there's definitely the stud I want at this position as well. Anthony Davis, love him here against the Knicks. Just expect him to have a field day if this game can stay competitive. We should get a massive game from Anthony Davis. When these teams played about a few days ago against the Knicks, it was a competitive game, and AD played 40 minutes and went off for 76 DraftKings points. He had 43, 17, and 5 with a block and a steal. Just nobody on the Knicks is going to be able to stop Anthony Davis. Blowout is a concern a bit, but the game's being played in Madison Square Garden in the Knicks Stadium, so that should help keep it a little close. Just really like Anthony Davis here. Hard not to like the guy on a nightly basis. Just such a high floor, such a high ceiling. In this matchup, definitely has a high ceiling. I believe he's had his best game of the year against the Knicks, or at least in his last 10 games, his best game came against the Knicks. 76 DK points. I think we get another big game from AD. Prefer him slightly to Giannis, but both guys going to be players I have decent amount of exposure to. But let's talk about these value plays at power forward. So probably not going to go to the mid-range a ton here because there's a lot of value I like when we go 5K and under. So the first guy I want to touch on is Noah Vonleh. He is 4,300. He's in that same game against the Pelicans. Noah Vonleh has started the last 2 games for the Knicks and has seen pretty nice minutes, 37 and 30 minutes, 45 and 41 DraftKings points. He's got a double-double in 2 straight games. He started in 2 straight games. I expect him to start again. I think the minutes should be there again. Don't know if we're going to get 40 DraftKings points from Noah Vonleh, but definitely could get 25 to 30 DK points, and that's really good value at 4,300. So he just really stands out as a top value play, especially if he remains in the starting lineup, which I imagine he would be. And then the other guy I want to mention is Dwayne Dedmon. This was a guy that I got on a lot on, I believe it was Tuesday slate or Wednesday slate. When we got the news that Alex Len was out, Dwayne Dedmon was going to start. He became a really good value play. He didn't crush, but the minutes were definitely there in the last game. He got 31 minutes against the Raptors, just 25 DraftKings points, but what we really like to see is the minutes were there. Alex Len, questionable for this game. I imagine Dwayne Dedmon starts again, even if Alex Len plays. But if Alex Len is out, that should pretty much secure Dwayne Dedmon in for at least 27, 28, if not 30 minutes again. Just a really good value play at 4,200. When he gets the minutes, he's a productive player. I imagine if he plays 30 minutes again, you can pretty much pencil him in for at least 24 to 25 DraftKings points. And Dwayne Dedmon has shown upside this year, can definitely get a double-double, and can get the blocks as well. Really good play on FanDuel where blocks are worth 3 points. Love Dwayne Dedmon, just a top value play. Him and Noah Vonleh at power forward or center look like 2 of the better values at that position. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to center now and quickly talk about this position. So Joel Embiid at 10-6. I definitely like today. I think I'd rather try and find the salary to get up to Giannis and to get up to AD. But Joel Embiid's probably my favorite stud. Behind those 2 guys, he's probably my 3rd favorite stud. Against Cleveland, against Tristan Thompson, I don't think Thompson's really going to be able to slow Joel Embiid down. I expect him to have a big game as well, and with his price tag now down to 10-6, he is for sure a guy that I really like here. If I'm not paying up at center for him, then I'm really going to the mid-range where I think there are some strong plays here. Jusuf Nurkic, a really strong play in my opinion, at 6,600. Just feels like too cheap of a price tag for Jusuf Nurkic. Same could be said for DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton is $200 less than Nurkic. I like both guys. Both feel underpriced, but Nurkic in general, just love here against the Warriors. If he gets the minutes here, should absolutely be able to crush against this Warriors team. They really don't have any good bigs. Draymond Green could potentially miss this game, so Jusuf Nurkic should be able to dominate on the boards. Should just be able to have his way. If this game stays close and stays competitive, we should probably get close to 30 minutes, if not more than that, from Nurkic. Even in a 40-point blowout against the Bucks, he still played 22 minutes, 24 DraftKings points. Against the Knicks, 31 minutes. Against the Wizards, 31 minutes. Only got 23 minutes against the Timberwolves, which kind of was a bit concerning. Did have 4 fouls in that game. But against the Lakers, 35 minutes. Nurkic usually isn't a guy that eclipses 30 minutes, but lately we've been seeing him get the minutes, which is something we like to see. This is just a guy that I love rostering, especially when he's underpriced like he is today. He's just such a productive player when he's on the court. He's going to grab rebounds. He's going to score. He'll get you some blocks as well. Even will get some assists. Love Nurkic today. Love him and DeAndre Ayton at center. If I'm going to the mid-range, those are 2 of my favorite plays. And then the last guy I want to mention at this position is Enes Kanter. So Kanter has started the last 2 games for the Knicks. Has not been great. Just 27 and 23 minutes, 25 and 25 DraftKings points. But if Enes Kanter still sticks in the starting lineup, I'm going to have interest in him. He's just such a productive player when he's on the court. If he gets mid-20s, close to 30 minutes at 6K, could definitely be a really good option. Probably wouldn't play Kanter and Vonleh together because it seems like when Vonleh's having his big games is when Kanter's struggling. I feel like if Kanter goes off for a big game here, that could lead to maybe Vonleh struggling. So I doubt I would play both guys together, but Kanter at 6K, I don't feel safer with him. I'd much rather get up to Nurkic or get up to DeAndre Ayton, but he is for sure a tournament play. If he's going to be like 2 or 3% owned, I'll have him in like 10% of my lineups. Will definitely be over the field. Just because with the upside Kanter has when he gets the minutes, definitely a guy I like to have exposure to. But yeah, that's probably it for center plays that I like. There's the value I mentioned here with Vonleh and Dwayne Dedmon. Both guys are center eligible. So yeah, that's probably it for center, and I think that's it for the video, guys. So hopefully you did enjoy this video. Hopefully it did help you. If you enjoyed the video, just make sure you click the like button down below. I would appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already. And if you do have any questions, you can always hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT, or feel free to leave any comments, any questions down below. I will get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, guys, good luck tonight. Really appreciate you watching the video, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.